What's going on, guys? We're
Yeah.
back with another episode of the Coast to Coast podcast. We're finally getting to March Madness. We had a fantastic tournament. It's always great to have, honestly, one of, if not, the best sporting event. I mean, it's just so fun watching each team, go in single elimination. Anything can happen. Which is really kind of what happened. We got like a St. Peter's, we got a crazy run. It was a really, really, I think, memorable tournament for the most part. But first of all, how you doing?
I'm big chilling. It's been a pretty chill. It's only week 2 for me right now. I know y'all are like in the complete opposite end of school right now, but it's been pretty
Mhm.
chill so far. The weather's been nice, so it's
Well, wait,
always
you're
nice to have
on,
that.
you're on quarters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on semester. So yeah, like we just got done with spring break and then it's just like right back into the grind, which sucks.
Yeah.
But we'll get through it. But let's start off with the championship that was um Monday night. Probably everyone will be listening to this on Wednesday, so 2 days ago. Kansas, UNC. I mean, freaking typical, man. I mean, it's like it happens in the tournament just for the blue bloods and the schools that always make it to end up making it. Kansas, UNC. Kansas almost blew it. They really almost gave it up by stepping out of bounds, but it didn't matter because they ended up missing that three. But I think a pretty solid game. I mean, we've been blessed with some really great national championship games the last 5-6 years. This is definitely right up there. What were some of your thoughts watching this game?
Yeah. I didn't get to watch it live because I wasn't even home, but I mean, watching it back, this was an absolute war in the first half, especially. And
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like Kansas had kind of given up after that first half. I don't know what the fuck that speech was at halftime, but holy shit, they came back 31-10 run coming out the
That's
second half.
incredible. Mm-hmm.
That's like, yeah, that's fucking nuts. Low-key really happy for Kansas though. I was gonna be really upset if fucking UNC won this shit. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Kansas comes back down 15 and gets their 4th national championship, and the largest comeback ever since guess who? March
In the
Madness,
national,
March Madness icon, March Madness icon.
is it a national championship or just any game?
Yeah, in a title game, largest comeback ever in a title game.
March Madness icon.
They've
Kemba?
got a nah. It's old, but it's a school that's like iconic.
Oh, it's old, but it's iconic. Uh, Leitner and Duke? I'm thinking maybe like a UCLA team. I don't know. I'm stuck.
It's
Who is it?
Loyola Chicago in 1963.
Oh, no way. Loyola
Yeah,
Chicago.
that's
Wow.
that's like a 60-year record, something like that.
Well, dude, I thought they were dead in the water. I mean, I didn't watch the first half live, but I watched the second half live. I came back and they only had 25 points at halftime. I'm like, what is going on? Because
Yeah,
Kansas up until this point had a dominant run. I mean, they were blowing teams out. If they weren't blowing teams out, they were beating them and holding them, between like an 8-10 point margin or whatever. They had a really, really dominant tournament, just handling business up until this game where they go down 15 and have the greatest comeback since Loyola Chicago, and
yeah.
they really just looked dead in the water. But whatever happened at halftime came back. Remy Martin started hitting buckets. Remy Martin, man,
Remy,
that's hilarious.
1738.
He was hitting those corner threes, and I saw my roommate. I'm just like, gotta get him the ball. I mean, he like honestly, he's earned it to where he should be,
Mhm.
taking these crucial shots. He was huge. Christian Brown was huge. It's crazy that his last name is Brown because every time I see it
It's spelled
just
like
it's
Braun.
Braun. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
Braun.
Braun.
It's Braun, and then McCormick, huge little baby, jump hooks, a couple of them
Yeah,
near the end that really came. And I really, I didn't really watch much of this team in the regular season, but I don't know how you felt, but I kind of like just started to like fall in love with them as a team throughout this tournament just because of how balanced they are. I mean, this is really one
exactly.
of the most like well put together, balanced squads that we've had in a long time. What do you think?
Yeah. In the early tournament games, I mean, this was a well-oiled machine. I mean, we talked about it in our chat. Like they were just crushing teams to the point where it's like you could turn it off you know, before it ever even got close to the end.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the best game they played in the beginning was probably the Kansas versus Providence game, maybe. That one
Yeah,
was
I think that was their next closest game. Mm-hmm.
yeah. But I mean, other than that, they had a great run up until this point, and I mean, I'm so glad they came back to win this because they're just such a great team. And when Kansas is good, it's kind of like when the Knicks or like when the Lakers are good in the NBA. Like it's good for, you know, it's good for basketball, good for college basketball.
Yeah, I think this whole tournament was fantastic for, college basketball because, yeah, I mean, we're, what, 2 years removed from not having a tournament because of COVID. And now, two tournaments later, we're getting, four blue bloods in the Final Four. We're getting Duke UNC for the first
Right.
time, which we'll get to that in a sec. And then, yeah, of course, Kansas, who, it is they haven't won since 2008. I think they've been in like one or two ships since then, but they haven't won it in over a decade. And yeah, like you said, just glad that they capped off what will be remembered as a really dominant run. And I'm glad they got it done. I mean, really only playing like 6-7 guys. I mean, the rotation was not that deep, but their guys, they're just like you said, a well-oiled machine. And I love Agbaji. I think he's going to be a stud. I think
amazing.
I think he's going to be a stud and translate really well in the NBA. I don't really know about everyone else. I mean, McCormick, probably find a spot somewhere because he's just so big. Who
UNC
knows
though,
about?
they've got a couple studs.
Yeah, let's talk about UNC. I mean, props to them. They were an 8 seed, but they can't be a Cinderella. They're UNC. They're a storied franchise, and they're never the underdog because they are one of the most well-funded. Get the best recruits, whatever. But nonetheless, they fought really hard. Kind of, it choked. We'll give them a choke in the second half, but nonetheless, I mean, it was just a great. I'm glad Kansas made it interesting because once they, kind of caught up to them, then they just started trading baskets. And Baycott was a beast. I mean, Caleb Love. You know who I see in Caleb Love? A little Tyrese Maxey.
Okay, I would have never thought of that, but I can kind of see it.
I see a little Maxey, and he was incredible
The hair
all tournament run. No, yeah, just their play style. I mean, they're just like. They can get to the rim whenever, and they're just, I don't know, like their jumpers are kind of similar. I think Maxey's a little bit quicker, but I see their games being pretty similar. And then, Cam Johnson's little brother, who I was so scared for, it looked like he was about to like pass out. I was hoping it wasn't nothing serious. But he was getting busy, man. For a guy that averages like 2 points, he came off the bench and played really, really well.
Yeah, he had a couple good moments. Baycott, though, I mean, is he declaring for the draft? I would assume so.
Yeah, I would assume so. He gained himself like 15, 20 picks higher than he would have gone.
Exactly. This dude's
he's a monster. I mean, he was, I think, 5 rebounds away from having the most in a tournament run ever, which is insane. And yeah,
he's not even that tall.
Yeah, he's not even that tall. He's just a big body, and there's definitely a spot for him somewhere because, yeah, I mean, he plays good, he rebounds, and he can finish around the basket. And that's,
I was gonna say I would love him on the Kings, bro. This is like exactly the type of player we need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's always a spot for this kind of player in the NBA. So yeah, he earned himself some bread for sure in the NBA. But hype for Bill Self. I'm hyped for Hubert Davis. I'm really glad that in his first season, he took them all the way to the championship game. I think that's huge. And let's get into the other biggest game. UNC Duke. I mean, it's just kind of like a like a Mandela effect. It's like how they never played in the tournament, kind of like LeBron, like averaging like a career 27, 7-7, but never actually getting that.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
I think
just
it's just because we see a lot of like UNC and Duke individually, but you
mhm.
never really, especially not in the tournament, you don't really see them match up that often. And when it does, it's like the stars align and shit.
Yeah, and they align big time. I mean, the higher ups of the NCAA were loving the fact that they were meeting up in the Final Four, and for Coach K's last game. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what did you think of this game? Who did you think was gonna win?
I I really thought Duke was gonna take this just because they had been so fucking hard nosed up to this point. I mean, Roach was, tough as nails, especially finishing around the rim. And I mean, Banchero was hitting shots like nobody's business before this. And I mean, Roach got held to 8 points, bro. And I mean, Manic hit some big threes. UNC
Mhm.
just, I don't know how they ended up as an 8 seed team, to be honest, because they're a great team.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, technically, yeah, from what they did in the regular season, yeah, they kind of had to. But yeah, this team,
Mhm.
yeah, was way too talented. I mean, and they showed it. I'm glad that they proved that
Right,
they shouldn't have been seated
right.
where they were, because yeah, they got some guys like Caleb. I mean, Caleb Love dropping 28 points to end Coach K's career just cold, bro. And Duke,
Man.
one thing, I thought Duke was gonna be a pretender just because they closed the
Mhm.
regular season really poorly. I mean, they
Mhm.
lost to who is it, Miami? I think they lost to Miami in the ACC championship.
Yeah.
Lost to UNC in the last home game. I'm like, man, like you're really, really not playing that well going into the tournament. But what I didn't expect was just how far and above their talent is compared to like almost every other
Everyone
team in the
else.
tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even just like not even just their starters. Like their bench unit would come in and just put in work against everyone else. Like
Yep. Yeah. I
heels
mean,
for
Keels had 19 off the bench against UNC,
yeah.
Theo John. Yeah. I mean, this team has at least 3 first-round picks, maybe even 3 lottery guys. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Banchero, Wendell Moore, and then AJ Griffin. AJ Griffin, low key, one of my favorite, if not my favorite player in the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just doesn't miss. He missed against
I mean, he
UNC,
missed
but for
this
the
game.
most, he missed this game. But for the most part, he was shooting the lights out of the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
And
know, man.
Paolo
It's
was
kind of sad to
amazing.
see. Yeah, Paolo, I mean, throughout the whole tournament, Paolo was amazing, but
Yeah,
it's
he
kind of sad to
was.
see Coach K, had to go out like this.
Yo, UNC. I mean, they have that forever, man. I mean, if I was in that rivalry, if I was on UNC's side, I would never let a Duke fan hear the end of that. I mean, that's crazy.
That's
Like
facts. Yeah.
they beat him at his last home game and in the tournament. Oh, come on, so dirty.
Okay. Have who's taking over? Have they announced that?
Yes, John Shire. He's their assistant coach. He
He's like
played
assistant.
on the 2010 team that won it.
Oh,
He
okay.
Yeah, I think he was a pretty solid part of that team. But yeah, he's gonna take over. It was either him or I think Nolan Smith, and yeah, they went with Shire.
What was some other games you enjoyed watching this tournament?
Oh, man, the UCLA UNC game was really really good. I mean, just
Mm.
a lot of really talented players in that game, and that was a really good matchup.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, dude, Arkansas, a bunch of athletes, just a bunch of athletes going at it. Let's see.
Yeah,
What
that
else
game
we
against
have?
Gonzaga was something.
Oh, the St. Peter's Purdue game. I mean, that was
Purdue.
really like that.
Even
That
the
was like
Murray
the
State game
highlight.
too.
That was like the highlight of St. Peter's run.
Yeah.
I mean, taking down Purdue. I really, really like them, and a lot of people like them going to the tournament. And they just shut them down. They just played so much harder. And I still really like Jalen Ivey. Jalen, I can always forget.
Jaden, I think.
Yes, Jaden. Sorry.
You're good. St. Peter's, dude,
Sorry,
do you remember? Do you remember that year when Modesto was like one of the like last seeded teams for the CIF playoffs in basketball? I think it was your senior year. It might have been your junior year.
I'm not sure. Oh,
We played
wait, and we
Sheldon.
played. Yes.
Dude,
Who had Marvin
this
Bagley's little brother?
this St. Peter's team reminded me of like us back then.
Yeah.
Like we were just playing our
that's
fucking hearts
hilarious.
out because like everything's on the line. I mean, this is it pretty much. Like every game is, do or die. And against a bunch of star-studded teams. I mean, they played their asses off and they just ran into UNC at the wrong time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they just ran into a much more talented team, but I mean, we got to give it to them. I mean, the fact that we've never seen a 15 seed go to the we got two major things we've never seen before. Well, three things. I mean, three things if you count that 15-point comeback. Because I mean, we haven't seen that, but I mean, a 15 seed going to the Elite Eight, UNC and Duke for the first time. I mean, just off of those two, feats alone just makes this tournament incredible. But yeah, St. Peter's, like our team, we just had like a bunch of small little guards that were just super pesky and just played harder than everybody else.
Yeah. That Duke versus Tech game was really good too.
I was just going to say, yeah, I was just looking at that one. That was a crazy game as well.
Yeah, I remember watching that one. That one came pretty close down to the last like 1 or 2 minutes.
Let's go back to St. Peter's real quick. Some stuff came out about them today, how they're Shaheen Holloway, their coach, is going to Seton Hall.
And
huge ups for Seton Hall.
3 of their guys, and Doug Eddard, Lee, and Banks, they all entered the transfer portal. So who knows if they end up at Seton Hall or if they end up somewhere else.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious if they just that'd be like them moving up to varsity, going to
Seton Hall. I would definitely play for that guy still at Seton Hall. That'd be dope.
Yeah, and part of me is like, damn, not gonna keep this going, whatnot. But then the other part of me is like, go use like this newfound, fame and notoriety and be like move up. I mean, Seton Hall is a much better program. They're always in the tournament. So why not, kind of, move this over to a much higher pedigree team.
Exactly. I mean, no one's going to be mad at them. I mean, especially not in New Jersey. I mean, that's New Jersey's team right there.
Yeah. Oh, the Houston-Arizona game. Was that the one? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good one. Wait. There was another Arizona game that was crazy.
The TCU versus TCU.
Yes, TCU. Well, didn't that go to overtime or something?
Yeah. Was it double overtime or just single? I know there was a couple double overtime games in the beginning.
Yeah, I think just overtime. But who is it? Coloco, Matherin. I mean, God, those guys were hitting huge shots. That was just like huge ballsy shots were being hit from Arizona. Yeah, that low key was probably my favorite game right there.
I really thought Arizona had a little more fire in them. And then I thought the same thing about Houston after they beat them, and then just.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Who are some of your most disappointing teams? Because I have a couple in mind.
Auburn for sure.
That's number one. Auburn.
Tennessee. Yep. Although I really liked Tennessee, but I mean Michigan was a really good team.
We got Wisconsin in there. Wisconsin's was disappointing. I really like Johnny Davis.
Yeah.
Purdue has to be in there. I mean, I thought this was Elite Eight, Final Four caliber team, but they just ran into a juggernaut, man. Mm-hmm. They ran into the St. Peter's juggernaut.
I mean, even Gonzaga. I mean, they lost to a good team, but I don't know. I was
I mean,
expecting
yeah,
a greater run from
Gonzaga.
them.
I mean, Gonzaga's right next to Duke as, the other most talented team that was in this tournament in terms of just guys that are going to translate well in, NBA and whatnot. Just a cohesive unit. I mean, this was, one of the best teams all year. Yeah, and I think for them, Gonzaga is really in that point. It's like national championship or bust. I mean, they've earned that with their pedigree these last few years, and anything but that is a disappointment. I think that's just a testament of their standards.
I mean, shout out to Miami though. They had a great run. I know Liam was really hyped to see them play. And I
Yes,
mean,
they. I mean,
RIP,
yeah. They
RIP
just couldn't
Jabari
hit any
Smith's draft
shots.
stock. Yeah,
Yeah. You know what's
yeah,
crazy? I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm still here. I'm a big Jabari fan. I think,
yeah.
yeah, I think there's plenty of guys that, have done really well in the NBA that kind of sunk it up in the tournament. I just think his shooting, his shooting's too good. I think his size translates too well. And he'll be all right. I think he'll be like he'll fit right in as like a DeAndre Hunter type right away. I still have faith. Paulo's someone that I was a little iffy on, but after this tournament, I'm like, okay, yeah, he's legit.
He's ready. He's ready.
Yeah. He turned the fuck up in the tournament.
Also, Chet. I
Augusti,
mean, Chet
mhm.
showed up.
Defensively, Chet was a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back to Miami real quick, I really, Augusti was really, really fun to watch. He gives me like a Karis LeVert. He's giving me Karis LeVert.
He's giving Karis LeVert. Karis
Yeah,
LeVert vibes.
yeah, he was super fun. Who are some of your other like favorite players to watch in the tournament?
Let me think.
Augusti's got to be in there. Caleb Love's got to be in there.
There
Paulo,
was
of course.
fuck. There was a guy on Murray State. They low-key looked like Flight. What was his fucking? I think it was Brown. Or no, it was Hill. It was Hill. Yeah, he was an absolute flamethrower. I really liked watching him play, and he looked like Flight. So every time I saw him, I was like, "Hey, it was Flight."
Flight team stand up.
Yeah. Who else?
I always love watching Juzang.
Mm-hmm.
And then Gillespie off of Villanova, he was the bright spot for me watching Villanova because most of their games were pretty boring, and he was one of the ones that always kind of stood out.
Yeah, the white guy from UNC, I think his name's Manic. He was really good on both sides of the ball, hitting some crazy threes, and then also just being a presence defensively. He was fun to watch.
Yeah, he stepped up. Both of their guards stepped up, and then of course Baycott, who was just, I mean, man, he had like 10 rebounds in like first half, I think.
Yeah, he was just getting him so easily. I was like, dude, nobody's stopping this guy right now.
Yeah, so easy.
I mean, he shot terribly though, and was still so dominant.
Yeah, he needs to develop a little offensive skill set. Because he tried a jumper against Kansas that he just like airballed it from like 10, 15 feet out. I'm like, baby, like, come on, man. You think Jabari Smith's draft stock? Where do you think he's gonna go? I think he's still gonna be like a top 3 pick.
He might. I feel like he might slip to like mid lottery, to be honest. At the worst, he'll slip to like mid late lottery. But there'll probably still be some team that doesn't care about tournament play. I mean, that's usually how it goes.
Yeah, 100%. I guess now I think Paulo and Chet will probably end up going over him, and then I mean I can't really for me personally, I can't really think of too many guys I'd pick over him. I mean, maybe Ivy, Griffin,
Let's see. Let's look
But
at.
you
I'm gonna look at a
guys,
mock draft, see if they've updated it since the tournament.
I really like Griffin. I think he's like a rawer version of like a Jalen Brown. I think, but man, he just develops, a little bit of handle. I mean, he's such a good shooter.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of mock drafts still have him in the top 5.
That's right to go, man. I mean, he's like 6'10". I mean, I think he's too well equipped. I will say though, yeah, the tournament play that was concerning, and also on defense. I mean, he's not as quick on defense like laterally, when he
Yeah.
gets in front of guards. But I think if you're putting him on, 6'6", 6'9", 6'10" guys, I mean, he's going to be a perfect guy to put on, the star wings.
Right.
That are in the NBA right now, but maybe not necessarily, the smaller guards.
Yeah, I guess it is a pretty weak draft once you get past those upper echelon guys.
Yeah, I need to do like some homework still and stuff on that, but like, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be. Man, we might not see a draft class like the one we just saw for a while. I think the rookies this year
Are crazy, even
are
down to like the later guys.
the rookies are cracked. The rookies are
Yeah,
stupid.
they really are. I mean, one of my favorite
God.
guys to watch, who I didn't think much of when they drafted him, was Josh Giddey. And
Yeah,
he's been really fun to watch. And like when they
yeah,
drafted
him
him, I
and
was like,
Shea.
yeah,
Yeah, him and Shea fit well. Yeah, I felt the same way because when they got him, I'm like, they missed out. It was like a consolation prize because they missed out on Mobley and Cade and Jalen Green and whatnot and Barnes. But yeah, I mean, since that Knicks game where he dropped like a 20, 30-point triple double, yeah, he's kind of like a Ricky Rubio on steroids, I guess.
yeah, a bigger one too.
Yeah, bigger one. Yeah, he's a stud. And I mean, Scotty Barnes might end up stealing that Rookie of the Year from Mobley.
Yeah. I mean, that was a guy Liam was really high on, and he's really
Yeah,
showed out. He has really,
yeah,
really showed out.
Liam was right. Yeah, he's been a beast. Mobley, obviously, Cade, Jalen Green's been coming around. Kaminga, Bones Highland. I mean,
Dude, even
there's
Mitchell
nights
had a
when
game
he's
the other day.
yeah. I mean, Mitchell's gonna be good. I mean, people, he's probably gonna end up as like a a third guard or something, but like he's gonna be in the league for a while. He plays good defense. And did you see that dunk he had the other day?
Yeah, that was nasty.
Ooh,
That was disgusting.
ooh, I didn't know he was like that.
He's got some bounce, but
Yeah, that was dirty. So yeah, probably the rookies won't be as good. But I think overall, I think we can both agree that this tournament was really good for college basketball, a sport that I think is has been kind of on the decline, has been dying out a little bit, just in with recruits going to the G League and with the one and dones and the quality of play not being. I think the NBA getting so much better in quality and like the talent depth being so crazy in the NBA, it kind of hurt college because you go from the NBA and then you watch college, it's just night and day, I think that doesn't help, but this tournament was really, really good for college basketball. What do you think?
yeah, agreed.
All right, man. We got anything else? Anything else to cover about this tournament?
I think that's pretty solid.
Congrats to Kansas. Congrats to UNC.
Congrats to my bracket. I chose Kansas. Got like 970 points. So
yeah, hey, yeah. Shout out to that. That's something. Shout out my roommate Andrew. He had Kansas all the way too. I took Auburn. My other roommate took UCLA, and then he took Kansas. And yeah, he got it. He called it from the start. His reasoning was he always goes with the top teams that don't get talked about. And that's true.
Yeah,
I mean, no one was talking
true.
about them because all the other teams that were like their contemporaries. I mean, Duke was super hyped. Zaga was super hyped. Yeah, Arizona. Auburn. I hyped up Auburn. I hyped up Auburn. Everyone hyped up Auburn because of Jabari and whatnot. In Kansas, they just stuck in and just was like, hey, we're over here. We're beating everybody. We're just gonna, quietly get to the championship. And he was right.
Yeah.
But right, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode, Coast to Coast podcast, the March Madness edition. Hopefully Liam will be with us next time. We'll be getting into some, NBA playoffs are starting soon, which I'm so excited for this playoffs. Most excited in a while. This playoffs is going to be crazy. NFL draft coming up. Great time to be a sports fan. Hey, we got to do a Champions League episode, bro. We got two bangers tomorrow. We got Chelsea and Madrid. We got to do a Champions League episode.
And the World Cup on the horizon too. I mean, the groups just got drawn a couple of days ago. So
groups just got drawn. Yep.
Good day to be a sports fan.
Yep, it is a great time to be a sports fan. But we hopefully we'll have a lot more content for you guys. But without further ado, we'll be signing off. Peace.